Holy sh! The jugs?
We need a fire extinguisher.
Just load them all on the golf cart.
Dude, he needs to call me back. That's about to get huge, bro.
Yeah, it's about to hit the power line. Hey, hey!
Okay. All right. So it is Mr. Thompson's 18 SS Camaro. I'm gonna go ahead and say it came to us in a box of parts. He tried to build the engine himself. I think it's a 416 cubic inch motor. He tried putting the cam in it himself. He tried degreeing it himself. He's an old school hot rodder, I'll call it. Very enthusiastic about working on his own stuff. So he really wanted to build the whole car himself. But after I think he started assembling the engine, he kind of realized it might be smarter to take it to someone who does it every day, which is, I'm glad he did. Once we got the engine, we got it in the engine room. The cam wasn't degreed properly. A few other little things weren't correct, so we had to take everything back apart. We pulled the camshaft out of it. We even changed the camshaft. The cam specs in it, in my opinion, weren't perfect for the application he was doing, so we spec'd the cam out for it, put it back in. Cylinder heads were done with a nice Maggie 2650, and his goal was just to have a reliable car on 93 octane, and it makes what it makes with a manual transmission. So we put a nice clutch in it. I want to say he brought us a clutch, if I remember correctly, and it wasn't the right clutch, so I think we put a Monster triple disc in it. I think we did LT4 injectors, LT4 pump on 93 octane with the 2650. We made dang near 900 rear wheel horsepower. I don't know the exact numbers, but it was, I'll just say around 900, which is more than enough for a weekend cruiser. And he does plan on using it.
93, I think.
That's what the final number. So I knew it was close, and to be honest, the boost it was making, we could have tuned it on 93, but I would have had to cut the timing out so much that after I called Mr. Thompson, I said, are you okay with adding Boostane in it when you go to race it, just because of the boost it was making? And he was fine with it. So it went from, let's say, 820 rear wheel horsepower super safe to our 890 is where it shipped. So he can still put 93 in it, drive it around. He can beat on it, just I wouldn't go 200 miles an hour in it. But when he does go on a Friday night to race somebody or go have fun, he is gonna have to add 1 quart of Boostane to the 93 to just make it extra safe. I'm just being super anal when it comes to these kind of cars to keep them reliable. I don't want them coming back unless they want more horsepower. Again, we try not to bring in builds that have, how do I say this, that are already in progress, or I'll say someone else's nightmare or someone else's problems. But in this case, like I said, Mr. Thompson was a very good customer as far as understanding that there could be problems and there might be things along the way that we have to say, hey, look, I know you bought this part, but it's not right. We really needed to go this route. He was very accepting when it comes to doing that. And that's why we decided to allow him to bring us his car and build it the way we did. And the end result was phenomenal. After he listened to our recommendations, as well as all the money he'd spent on the nice parts he already had, a 900 rear wheel horsepower street car is sick. And I got to take this thing on a few rides with customers that either were flying into town for their cars or flying into town just to check us out to ship us their cars. So in this video, you'll see a few reactions of a few other customers that happen to go for rides. I myself, being a manual car with a drag radial, that thing in second gear felt so strong. Second, third, and fourth. Again, it's an SS Camaro, so it's a little bit heavier than a Corvette, but it ripped. Turned out phenomenal for what it is. If you ever want some more horsepower, all we have to do is put it on E85 with a more fuel system and turn the boost up, and you got 1,000 rear wheel horsepower plus, or put it on race gas and turn the boost up. 1,000 rear wheel horsepower plus. So all in all, perfect build, and Mr. Thompson was, at least the day he came here, was super stoked about seeing it, hearing it, and obviously he was very happy with the results. All right, Instagram update. We think we're close, but I'm gonna say no. So if you're still watching this, please go follow us at Faraday Performance. That way we can see our day-to-day pictures and videos that we post. We still don't have our Instagram back, but every day we keep thinking we're gonna have it the next day and we don't. So please go follow us there.
Do we have another one?
Beltway, Blum.
It's like it's in between like both the fences. We don't have no idea.
What? No.
Holy sh! Their whole grass is on fire back there? Get it before it gets a tree. Before it gets a tree.
Yeah. It's really hot, dude. Does it work? Yeah. Alright.
Oh no.
They're back there spraying their back. Hey. Oh, they are? Yeah. It's a kid.
Oh, it's going. It hit.
They're blowing. Hey, put our shit on.
Is mine bigger than yours?
No.
No, I think my 3/8 ratchet is. Is it? It is. Okay. Oh, Mac.
Why is that the magic socket?
This is the magic ratchet and socket combo. This little beauty here is the best thing to get that front catalytic converter bolt out off the manifold. That is why this is the magic setup.
Let's see it. It's your lucky day, Stefan.
Wet sump? I can just dry sump. He just has to take off the hole and put oil down one of these holes.
You're hitting it, you're hitting it.
Ooh, it stinks.
Dream right here.
Easy.
I'll come back and I'll hand it to you and you spray over there.
Oh, that's probably a good idea.
Hey, it's right, yeah, it's right there.
Dude, that's wild. I don't know. He says the transformer's been sparked or making noise lately, and maybe it sparked and put it out. Man, but they already had a hose on it, that house behind. Don't you think they were smoking or barbecuing and probably threw something over the fence?
Didn't look like they were barbecuing anything.
No?
It looked
Well,
like
I
they
told
were
you
just-
the other day, this one, a squirrel or something went on top of it and it caught on fire and fell off.
Oh, but that was the day it was raining, remember?
Yeah.
No, I swear to God.
Yeah.
Hey,
I can't.
hey, on that
It
one,
was up on
How
top.
do you answer my phones and talk to customers?
Dude, it was
hey,
up
on
on
that
top.
one,
Hey,
I swear to God. Hey, I
look,
could
the
vouch
squirrel
for
was
that
on
one.
fire and flew off.
Yeah.
It was a squirrel on fire
I swear to
flying
God
off.
on that one, though.
No, I saw it.
Hey, that's going home. Hey,
Fire flying squirrel.
hey, true story.
Jumped off, it was on fire.
True story.
It was on
You
fire.
saw, hey, Frankie, you saw it?
I swear to
Yes.
God, true story. Dude, it was raining. Poor bird landed.
It was a bird, that's what it was.
Bird
A bird.
You said
landed.
A bird.
Squirrel, bird, something.
Okay.
I know it was a bird. Something bird.
I thought it was
The bird just.
amphibious rodent. It was on fire.
Oh my God.
Well, maybe we can try again to get this part tomorrow.
Yeah, so this one, the customer tried assembling the short block himself, like a 416 cubic inch short block. We ended up taking it back apart just to make sure, because he's used to building old school like small block Chevys and stuff like that. And so the way he degreed the cam and some other things, we just wanted to make sure everything was right. And so we kind of redid a whole bunch of stuff and then put the motor back together. So it is a 416 cubic inch motor with a nice Magnuson 2650. Good size cam in it. And then we got a low side fuel system with LT4 pump and LT4 injectors. So it is running on 93 octane with, I think it's like 14 pounds of boost, almost 15. We went ahead and it made 840 rear wheel horsepower on 93. And then because this customer does want to go race it quite a lot, we went ahead and put a quart of Boostane in it, and it made right at 900 rear wheel horsepower, just from adding 1.5 degrees of timing in it. I can call it 2 degrees of timing, but it was like a 1.5 degrees.
How different are these new motors from the old motors?
Quite a bit. Mainly the direct injection. So you have the old LS stuff is obviously a port injected. You know what that means or no? So where the injectors sprays the fuel, right? Yep. So you have electric pump in the tank of your car. So you have a 2011. He has a 2011 C6 Corvette, automatic or manual?
6-speed.
6-speed auto?
No, 6-speed.
A manual? Nice. So a 2011, so he's got a TR6060 bone stock right now, but yours has an electric pump in the tank that then feeds your port injectors that sit on top of the intake, right? This one has a low side pump in the tank. We added an external pump that feeds a mechanical pump that sits on top of the valley that then goes to the direct injectors underneath, like that's actually inside the cylinder head. That's the main difference. These have, you know, variable valve timing and displacement on demand, where your LS3 doesn't have the displacement on demand where the 4-cylinder shut off. This one does that. In the cylinder heads though, I mean the LS3 cylinder heads flow very well, just like these. It's not that much different. You know, we do heads and cam packages like naturally aspirated on these that'll make, you know, 530, 550 rear wheel horsepower. And a heads cam LS3, we make, last one we just did made 500 rear wheel horsepower. So they're very comparable. It depends on the camshaft and intake manifold and how crazy the customer really wants it to be.
So looking at the package for mine, what you said it'd be 100.
So yours is about 150 horsepower gain. So if you want to keep it carb emissions for California,
I got you.
we would do literally, it's just a supercharger system to keep it fully carb legal to and still gain a nice 150 horsepower.
I always get it mixed up. The supercharger sits on top of the head, right?
Well, so you have a root style blower or a screw blower that sits on top of the cylinder heads, and then you have a centrifugal blower that sits on the side that people say looks like a turbo.
Yeah.
So you have two different styles. The root style blower, which is like Whipple, Magnuson, which this one's a Magnuson, so this sits on top. You have low end torque. As soon as you stab it, it makes 15 pounds of boost and makes torque right away. A centrifugal blower, which is what we'd be putting on your car, sits on the side and is more of a linear horsepower curve. So as RPM climbs, horsepower and boost will climb with it.
Because I was reading now, if you put the one you got for the line, will I have to get rid of my air conditioner?
No, sir.
Oh, because I don't want to do that.
Oh, we wouldn't do that to you.
No, I was
We wouldn't do that to
they
you.
were talking about some of those. I which kind it is, but they lose the, you have to take off the AC.
I'm trying to turn the AC down in this thing. Just looking here. It's so hot out. 100, 102, 103. And then when the heat index in here, it's like, I think it's like 117 today. It's horrible.
This is just drives nice.
Right? And this is over, you know, technically 1,000 horsepower.
That's the crank.
Yep.
It just drives like a normal car.
Nice, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We got a good sized cam in it, so
Oh, yeah, sounds good.
you hear it chopping it idle.
Yeah, yeah.
We can't do that for you because of the carb stuff.
Yeah, I know.
You know, if you didn't care about the carb stuff, or if you live somewhere else, we'd definitely put a cam in it.
Yeah.
And we'd also put, you know, long tube headers on it and stuff like that. But still, an extra 100, 150 horsepower with what you got is still fun. And it looks good under the hood. You know, we can do a nice polished unit, or we can do black. We can do, the satin is how they come, but I'd do either polished or a black unit. That way it looks really good under the hood. There we go.
Quarter mile.
Let's see if we can get this to work. So yeah, this is SS. You know, I mean, it handles okay,
Yeah, it does.
but it's not like, you know,
No, it's not as flat.
and it's not like the ZL1s that we talked about earlier.
Okay,
Those are the closest things I could say like to your Corvette. They actually handle very well on a road course.
They come up in price also.
Yes.
They start to.
Yeah. Do what?
Since I was here.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
All the way from Denmark, you got to feel at least a little bit of horsepower.
You need to feel it. Yeah.
You got to feel something.
I've never seen it in Denmark now.
No.
No.
We might spin. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
If it spins real bad, I'll go from a higher gear. See how it spins really bad in second, third,
Just course.
kind of hooked, yep, and then fourth. Nice, right?
That was nice. Easy. That's what we like.
I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hard to beat that, right?
You can't beat it.
And like I said, in your car with 600 rear wheel horsepower,
Close to
against
that.
something like this car will pull on you.
Okay.
But if you go from like a lower, like a 40 punch, 40 to 100 with your gearing, if we do like a 390 gear in it, you'd be surprised. The power to weight ratio,
that helps
your car
out.
runs really good.
Yeah.
Your car runs really good. But this thing, it makes so much power, it'll just keep pulling. Yep. No. It's in your blood. Once you have this in you, it's not getting out of you.
Yeah.
You're gonna always want a performance car. So let me build it right where you can enjoy it, and I promise you, you will love it.
Yeah, that's my third Camaro. I've had two Z28s. This is my first, SS all the way back from a while ago. And so, the thing about being a car guy is I built my first engine when I was 15 years old.
Heck yeah.
I took a motor manual out, pulled it apart, and actually just rebuilt the whole thing, and I've been doing stuff ever since. I had a Nova that run in the 10s back in mid 80s. That was my little street car back then. A little nitrous shot and everything. So, I've got a 600 horsepower Silverado right now. It's got a LS427 in it. It's got a set of nice trick flow, puts out about 625
Cathedral
horsepower.
port heads?
No, they're rec ports. They're LS7 heads.
Yeah.
On a LSX block.
Yeah.
Built with the same stuff, Calis and stuff.
Nice.
So that's why when I built this, put it together, I knew what I wanted to do with it. I knew I wanted to put.
You had all the right parts.
Yeah. So.
You had all the right parts, and again, there's a few little things we just changed, but wasn't much.
Well, and that was perfect timing on the cam recommendation. I really appreciate that. That was something I meant to call you about earlier. But those little things, the little nuances, you guys work on those day in and day out. You have the expertise, you have the knowledge of doing that. And again, coming from a car guy, I understand that. You know, I've tinkered around with parts. I put parts in that didn't work good.
And
you know, you have to figure stuff out.
But some of these guys, they just see the internet and they think, oh, look how easy it is. This guy said he made 1,000 horsepower, but they don't realize what it truly takes to make 1,000 horsepower and make it reliably. Just because it makes it on the dyno one time, who cares?
Yeah,
and whether it heat soaks in on the road and you're really making 850 or you're broke down a month from now. That's no fun.
Yeah.
That's no fun. And I will say, so I can attest to yours, I think we've made 2 customers I've taken for rides in his car, plus myself. So I put some miles on it. She's broken in. She's good for you, buddy. But no, we did, like I said, several dyno runs. I drove it home to put miles in the clutch. And then, like I said, I had 2 customers that flew into town, and they were both eager to go for. I'm like, all right, Mr. Thompson won't care. I'm gonna go for a ride.
Dude, and I will say, every time you got out of it, you were like excited about it.
I told you that because you're banging gears. Most of these cars are automatics. I'm stabbed in steering. That thing is, and I sent you. It did do a good 60 to 130. It went 6. What I just sent it to. Check this out. So I'm in 3rd gear. I was again soft shift. It's not my car. I don't like no lift shifting cars that aren't mine. Still went a 6.4.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I'm telling you, that thing from second, like, but that's on a drag radial, right?
Yeah.
So 2nd gear on a drag radial, your car. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th feels so much fun. So much fun to drive because it's different.
Yeah.
You know, all the different blacks and whites and silvers we do and reds.
And do you know that actually Chevrolet's only showing that they made 134 of these in 2018 in this color?
Dang.
Wow.
Yeah.
So obviously, you know what you're looking at. The only thing that, you know, different, we had the big vibrant breather on it. And here's how you check it right here. And to be honest, it's a built motor, so the rings are a little bit looser. So you might see a little bit of smoke out of here at idle, but it's not gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I gapped them. I gapped the top and bottom rings at 28.
Okay, yeah.
So
again,
that's for
looser than factory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so you'll see a little bit,
yeah.
but it's nothing bad. And then I tell people, just check these, you know, every time you change the oil, just check it. And if we have to drain it, there's a plug at the bottom. You just unscrew and just to drain it. Now, if it was an E85 car, it would fill up with like a lot of condensation and like almost look like water, like milk.
Right.
This car right here with what you have in it, you'll probably never have to drain it unless you just beat the crap out of it a lot.
Yeah.
Over time, then yes, you have to change it.
I've noticed that my catch can in my truck, I've got one on my truck too, you know, and I noticed that
it doesn't fill up that much, right?
Yeah, no, it doesn't. And I've got it gap pretty good. I'm fixing to put a turbo on it, so.
So it's not really much about the catch can, it's more about just the breathing, right?
Yeah.
So this is just to really relieve all crankcase pressure. We're taking it from each valve cover and relieving all boost, all crankcase pressure out to atmosphere.
Yeah.
That's the main reason why we put these on. And then obviously the catch can is just a bonus on top of it.
You drive the truck on, I drive the
You know, when you cranked it up the first time, it was like, holy cow, that's going great.
All right, as always, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. You guys out there with just regular LT1 platforms, whether it's a SS Camaro or regular C7, please contact us. We have several packages for these LT1s that can go anywhere from 600 horsepower, obviously up to 2,000 horsepower. So contact us. No, Chris he looks around the corner. Yes, so contact us, guys. Email us or give us a call. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Comment below. Let me know what you think about this Chevy SS Camaro. Until next time.